We're going to talk about Jaylen Brown and the Boston Celtics, right? Because Jaylen Brown is the second best player on the Celtics, no doubt about it. He emerged this season averaging 24 points per game. He looks like he's going to be a really good player. But in my opinion, I think that, for one, I agree. They need to get rid of Kemba. But Kemba right now is not worth anything. I'll be honest. No team that is trying to win is going to want to trade for Kemba.
That's
and
facts.
no losing team is wants to give Kemba the keys because he's too old at this point.
Could I ask you just one quick question? If you're a Knicks fan, would you take Kemba?
No.
No? Not even if you don't have like a good point guard on your roster? No? Okay.
No.
There's just a side question. Just a side question. Just want to know because I heard some Knicks fans talking about giving him an opportunity to be the point guard because it's so bad, but whatever.
Even when he was on the trade market, they were like, "Oh yeah, we're gonna get Kemba too." Like,
so you wouldn't take him.
When we lost out on Kyrie and KD, that was a guy who was supposed to come to New York, Kemba. And he didn't come, and I'm glad because I didn't want him at that time either. I really didn't. And I'm glad that front office didn't want him either because I think they're not going to want him now, especially after that.
It's going to be hard to trade him.
I think the only way for the Boston Celtics to get better from here on out, because, I mean, for one, they're paying Tatum the max. They're going to pay
easily
Brown a boatload of money. They're paying Kemba a boatload of money. His contract ends in 2 years. But they're not going to have enough cap space to really sign a great player. They're going to have to trade for that said great player, or they're going to have to reduce salary on their team. And I think the way for them to improve going forward is by trading Jaylen Brown. You know, I've mentioned 2 trade ideas, both with the Sacramento Kings, because I haven't thought about this too much, but it's both with the Sacramento Kings. First of all, I'm going to talk about why I think they should trade Jaylen Brown. Through the history of the NBA, you have not seen 2 wing players that are primarily scorers win a championship. People want to mention LeBron and D-Wade. LeBron is one of the best playmakers of all time.
Players.
The closest thing to that was Scottie and Jordan, but Scottie was a point forward. He could run the show, run the point. Brown to me is not that. No. Tatum to me is not that. No. You just give him the ball and you let him go to work. Yeah. You know, I think Tatum is more like a Carmelo Anthony, not in game style, but in terms of how you're gonna use them on the floor. You're gonna give it to them to get a bucket, but they're not gonna be running the offense and playmaking and stuff like that. So for me, I don't think their game fits. And to be honest, isn't Tatum and Brown just a great value version of Kawhi and PG?
I mean, I don't know about that because I think Jason Tatum, you give him enough time. I don't know if he'll be way better than Kawhi, but I think he'll be like
to ever be even close to Kawhi.
I think he has a potential for it. He definitely has.
I don't see that. Honestly.
He's only 22.
To me, right now, he's better than Paul George.
He's 24.
Oh no, he's easy better than Paul George.
He's 23.
He's 20. Oh, 23.
He just turned 20. I don't know why Celtics fans keep saying he's 20. They've been doing that for like.
I thought it was 22.
I mean, he's better than Paul George though, right?
Yeah.
No, he is.
No doubt.
But I don't think Brown is better than Paul George.
No. Well, I'm okay. I'll give you that. But
PG is better. Yeah, PG's better.
I'll give you that. But like my take on with Jaylen Brown is like, if you give him like, I don't even know, because like I said, I like what I said earlier in the fact that, you know, Jaylen Brown and JT, like you got 2 killers on the wings. That's what Brooklyn's doing right now. You know
they
what
got
I'm saying?
Harden.
But
they got that playmaker that we've been talking about.
But he's also their second best player on the team. Maybe first to some like me.
I feel like
James Harden is the second best.
I was thinking about this series right now because Kyrie had a slow start kind of, but
Kyrie's the best third option in the NBA right now.
In the NBA right now.
So. Yeah, I agree, but you know, I think Brooklyn is a little bit of a weird case because they have
superstar heavy, right?
Yeah, they have overwhelming talent. Like I think Boston will never be that unless they draft some guy that's like an unknown gem. But like even for example, Golden State, people mentioned that before. Golden State, Draymond was their playmaker. Steph can playmake too. And so they have the playmakers. And then when they got KD, I mean, the talent was just overwhelmingly superior to everybody in the league that they won. So these are my trade ideas, both with the Kings. First one, trade Jaylen Brown for De'Aaron Fox. So I think that's
straight up.
I think that's maybe the Kings can offer like I don't really know. Maybe just a whatever guy, and then
like Harry Giles.
Yeah, and then the Celtics throw in like Aaron Nesmith or somebody. But for the most part, it's gonna be a straight up trade Jaylen Brown for De'Aaron Fox. The second one is Jaylen Brown and Marcus Smart. Trading Marcus Smart is gonna be big, but it's gonna be not a fan fave move. But
who would
whatever.
you get?
You get back Tyrese Halliburton, who I think can be a true point guard, pass first guy, who can also shoot 40% from the three and be a really knockdown, good shooter. He's also a really good defender. And you get Buddy Hield, who can also shoot 40% from three, space out that floor for Tatum, and you get Marvin Bagley, who can be their big man. Maybe you can turn him into a defender. He has the length too. He just needs the motivation. Maybe in Boston playing winning basketball, he has that motivation to live up to that second overall pick because he hasn't been bad. He hasn't been Luka. He hasn't been Trae Young.
He hasn't even been DeAndre Ayton.
No, he hasn't. But Marvin Bagley hasn't been bad as a defender.
He's a good player. He's not that bad.
But under the right guidance and situation, he can really flourish. He's been like a 14-8 guy. So in Boston, being their big man, they could play small. He can be like maybe 16-10. And I think the starting lineup in Boston would be, you got Tyrese Halliburton, Buddy Hield, Jason Tatum, Marvin Bagley, and then Robert Williams starting at 5. Or maybe,
maybe Tristan Thompson.
Yeah, maybe him too. So you could play like that. And I don't think that'd be too bad of a team. You got Halliburton, who was a rookie, who is still going to get really better. You have Buddy Hield, who you know what he is, but he's exactly what you need in terms of space on the floor. He's what Evan Fournier is to them right now.
Yeah,
Buddy Hield is exactly what he is right now. And then the Kings, you get Fox, Brown, and now you can make something happen with those two. Maybe, hopefully.
That'd be good. I like that Fox trade a lot. I don't know why. I just feel like
I don't think Fox is the answer, bro.
Nah, it's not even about being. It's not even more so about being the answer. It's just, I just think De'Aaron Fox for Jaylen Brown. It's like, I mean, do you think Jaylen Brown's that much better than De'Aaron Fox?
I think he, as a scorer, no. I think Fox is a better scorer.
I do,
but all around player, I think Brown is better.
Yeah.
And I think he can help out their defense in Sacramento.
It's just De'Aaron Fox. I mean, for the average fan, they don't really know how good he is. I think he's really good. Like, he's really good. He's probably the most explosive player in the league.
Next to Russ? Yeah.
He's definitely very fast. I mean,
he's not a bad shooter either.
He's gotten better at shooting. I like that trade. But then again, I like the Tyrese Halliburton because you get a lot of young pieces too. So, I mean, if I'm Boston, I don't think that's that crazy of a trade. I think both of them could work out. But me, I would try my best if I'm Danny Ainge to get a playmaker, to run it back with a true playmaker for 2-3 seasons. See what you can get with a pure playmaker setting up Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum and all these young guys. And then if it doesn't work out, then you go into that direction because Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum are going to be entering their primes and they're still going to be young. So I think it's a little too early to trade, but I just think that I think Danny Ainge has to build a perfect roster and a good point guard that can surround his two wings that are really talented. I
think Rubio would be the perfect point guard.
Rubio would be good. Someone like Rubio too. You set him a good defender, can set him up, great passer. He's not going to take a lot of shots like Kemba, high IQ, plays hard. I mean, I think that would be good too, but I think you have to get that point guard who's a pass first point guard for it to work out. Even like I think a Kyle Lowry would benefit them a lot. Kyle Lowry's a really good playmaker.
What about Jaylen Brown for Bradley Beal or Karl Anthony Towns? One of those.
I think that's pretty good too.
I don't know if Minnesota would do it just because they have a lot of wings, or not a lot of wings, but they have Edwards.
How about what if you get? Because I know Minnesota's dreaming of number 1 overall right now. They're dreaming of Cade Cunningham, which means D'Lo going to be on the chopping block.
But that pick belongs to Golden State.
That's right.
Unless it falls within some certain number, but
Kyle Lowry's a free agent, right? Next year.
Yes.
After this season. Yeah, if you were Boston, would you give him a try?
I would sign him, but I don't think they don't have the cap to do it.
They don't?
Nah.
Yeah, I feel like that would be a good one too. You get Kyle Lowry, who's like at the start of his Toronto career, he was known more for scoring, and now he's averaging 8, 9, 10 assists a game. Yeah, I think that's a great point. He's a great defender, plays hard. I think that would be a good pickup, but obviously the money situation.
Yeah, I just think it's a bit weird ideal. Because I think Danny Ainge, you got to make a move.
Yeah,
I don't know if it's trading Jaylen Brown, I don't know if it's trading Kemba, whatever it is, but you got to make a move because in 2019, there was a report that the Celtics could have traded Jaylen Brown for Kawhi Leonard, but they didn't because he didn't want to pull the trigger and get rid of Jaylen Brown. You know, we saw the same guy in Masai Ujiri trade Toronto's franchise beloved player in DeMar DeRozan for 1 year of Kawhi and get a championship. Yeah. And that was the best year of Toronto basketball ever.
Yeah.
And
straight up.
Danny Ainge didn't want to do that. Danny Ainge didn't want to trade for Kawhi, and granted, probably they would have never won. Yeah. But if that was during when Kyrie was there. So that would have been Kyrie, Tatum, Kawhi. I mean, it would have been, I think, probably Hayward too. Like, it would have been a stacked roster.
They could have won a ring.
Yeah, and Ainge didn't pull the trigger.
And they probably could have kept Kyrie too.
Mm-hmm. And I think at this point, you need to make a move. You need to make a move to get yourself to be better, because Danny Ainge is a guy who he's only been making trades that favor him on paper. You know, like the Brooklyn trade where they got a haul for that. Mm-hmm. And now the Brooklyn Nets are better than they are. They have a better future, and that's just not acceptable. You know, a team can't trade all of their picks to you, and now you're not better than them.
Now you're losing to us in the playoffs.
Yes, you're about to lose in 5, a gentleman's sweep. So I think Boston needs to do something. I think, you know, they should trade Jaylen Brown because that's their most valuable piece. And I just don't see a duo of Brown of Brown and Tatum ever winning a championship. And I think in the
history,
NBA,
right?
Yes. Mm-hmm. And in the NBA, it's all about winning a championship.
Yeah.
And if you can't win a championship, you got to make moves to try and win one.
Of course.
I think, see, I like the trade you brought up with a Cat, because then I'm like, all right, what else would they have to give up to potentially get D'Lo in that? Because D'Lo is like, a lot of people don't know, his IQ is so underrated in the game. So, and when he was an All-Star, he averaged like 7 assists, I think. So
better playmaker than Kemba.
Yeah,
for sure.
Definitely. So I think if you put him at the top, and then maybe if you can add someone to, you know, finesse like a guy who go like on the wing too, then that'd be dope. But I mean, like a playmaking guard like D'Lo, or like you said, a Ricky Rubio. If you're gonna trade Jaylen Brown, that's what you should like prioritize.
What about like a Robert Williams, Jaylen Brown for Rubio and Cat?
Would you throw in Fournier too?
Fournier is a free agent, so you can't. But like Timberwolves would have D'Lo, Brown, Edwards, Williams, and Celtics would have Rubio, Cat, and Tatum.
That'd be solid.
That's good. I think that's one of the few trades that benefits both teams.
Yeah.
I think it's just hard because right now we're not really sure what Cat is going to be on a winning team, at least.
I like Cat.
You know, I think he's a good player, but we're not sure, especially because he gets injured a lot too.
Yeah, he does.
So you can't really rely on him too much. So I think that's their only downfall, but that's definitely, you know, Boston has a lot to think about.
Yeah.
Because they need to get better, and I know they want to win a championship. The city wants to win a championship,